Welcome everybody to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I'm Dr. Cush. I feel like we need to redo that intro. I was just listening to it like with a critical eye. I'm trying to work on some mindfulness, and I feel like maybe that's not what the show is about. Maybe it isn't that I am some longtime bartender that is explaining the mysteries of bartending to you guys. If you guys would annoy me and write me some things on Instagram so that I know, just kidding, it's not annoying. If you guys could write me some stuff on Instagram, let me know what you like from this thing, because I would really like to redo that intro now. It's really grating on me. I feel like the annoying thing is that I thought I knew what this show was, and after 5 years, I might not. I might have no idea. Anyway, we are going to be going back to this book. My first ever cocktail book. And we're going to be doing a tiki drink coming out of here from Thomas Mario. We are going to find ways. We're just going to make a drink out of this cocktail book. That's what we're going to do. Honestly, guys, we're going to come together. We're going to become an online bar. We are going to be hanging out, and we're going to be making a drink out of this cocktail book here. We'll talk a little bit about Thomas Mario, and then we will talk about slings, and we'll talk about drinks, and we'll talk about hanging out. And then I let you go. Should that be the intro? I don't know. Anyway, that's what we're doing today, guys. We're making a cocktail called the Oahu Gin Sling. We're making it with our sponsor of this show. We're making it with Brando Motu Gin. This was fun. This is Opie the dog. Came right in and gave us a so right in character, honestly. Thank you, Opie the dog, for giving us one of those. Good to see you. Another bunch of O's crammed together. Let me say a good evening, Shawnee Panda Baker. Good to see you. Let's see what else we got. Amy Beer is here. 2 E's in there. We got a lot of just letters crammed together. Now, here's a weird one. Cocktail Lou. Not necessarily a letter, but certainly a sound. Also crammed together. I'm starting to see a pattern in what's going on here. Dougie G, he breaks the pattern. Dougie G he's out. He's all over the place with that thing. Forlorn Hope, good to see you. Cheers to you. Professional broadcaster. What's up, Forlorn Hope? Good to see you. Cheers to you, pal. Who else we got in here? Amy Nordstrom from Sagway, Alaska. I don't speak any Alaskan. I speak almost no Alaskan. I speak a little Hawaiian. Hainae maheana kapuana. It means, let me tell you what that means. It means we're cool. Hainae maheana kapuana. How come I know it? Warren Zevon is one of my favorite singers, and he got a great song called Hula Hula Boys, and that's the chorus. The only reason I know Hainae maheana kapuana, one of my favorite karaoke songs to sing. So, bringing some new delicious gin from Sagaway Distillery. Had a rhubarb Collins. Whoa. That's a good Collins. One of the best. Yes, this is a Cush recipe book. Playboy. Oh, I see what you mean. You want a recipe book of mine. A lot to get done, I guess. Let's say hello to our good friend, Roger G. We have the only person with a colder start of summer than we have here. Now, I'm not exactly sure where Roger G is from. Somewhere, though. We're all from somewhere. And I think that's important to remember. Wherever you are in humanity, you are from somewhere. And that's what we got. Okay. Let's talk about this book. So, in the year 2026, maybe? 2026, I started. I had been working as a comedian, stand-up comedian. No big deal. In fact, it was no big deal. I had a day job where I was working as a tech person at a law firm. Basically, I was fixing lawyers' computers while they were working on a major case. I think I can talk about the case now. It was AMD, and they were suing Intel. I was literally working for 2 monsters of technology fighting each other. I was working for the AMD side, and it was called Project David. from David and Goliath, because AMD believed that they were the little guy and they were going up against a big monster Intel. AMD and Intel are about the same. Anyway, I wasn't feeling it. I really just, I did not, you know, I got a bit of a bleeding heart. I wanted to help people. So what did I get into? Bartending. Some of my friends, Clayton and Mikey and Rocky, they saw me doing some stand-up. They're like, hey, we're not going to go see any more of your shows, but if you would like, you are more than welcome to come bar back at this bar called The Room Hollywood. If you don't know The Room Hollywood, you may have seen a movie called Swingers. As a, like, from the 1996, 97, Jon Favreau's first movie. Vince Vaughn dared him that he couldn't write a movie within a week. Anyway, he did, and that was this movie. It's called Swingers. Anyway, they have a whole situation where they end up in this bar called The Room Hollywood. One of the characters, Charles, turns to a guy named Mikey, played by Jon Favreau, and he goes, "This place is dead anyway. That's the room." And they had a thing called Sinatra Night. Anyway, I lit the bar on fire for like 10 years on Sinatra Night. If you watch my intro, you'll see that. A little intro to who I am. Anyway, I started bar backing, making exactly half of what a bartender makes. That's a pretty good split on tips. Bartenders, if you divide it into 7, then the bartenders each make 2 parts, and the bartender then makes, or the bar back makes 1 part. And I thought, wow. I'm walking out of here with like $90. This is amazing. I am living my life. I am absolutely killing it. This is so much fun. What if I was walking out of here with $180? So I went to the store. I went to a place called Skylight Books on, I think it was on one of those Silver Lake bookstores. And this was the book that I found. And look at how many recipes are on here. It's just recipes on recipes, just telling you all about the stuff. It even has charts in the front. I read this thing backwards and forwards. I memorized as much as I possibly could. I'm not great at memorizing, but I memorized as much of this book as I could. I would bring in these ingredients. We didn't have all these ingredients. I would bring in these ingredients so that I could make cocktails at a place like this. This is another job texting me right now. So anyway, I read this thing backwards and forwards. I knew all about it. This is where I made my first, it's not a very good one, but this is where my first Ramos Gin Fizz came from. This is where we get into Ricky's. And I started seeing patterns. And from there, I got checked out for, you know, I thought maybe I would be, you know, one of those Love on the Spectrum people watching that show. Spectacular show. I started seeing patterns in this book, which is where my theory of the 7 cocktails comes from. It comes from this little book right here from a guy named Thomas Mario. He was the editor of, he was like the food and beverage editor for Playboy for many years. I don't know what kind of person this is, but certainly put together an amazing book. And this was my very first ever cocktail book. So anyway, oh, just real quick, can we all just everybody whisper? Bon Bon is joining us from Instagram because she's not allowed to be here anywhere else. So shut up. All right, guys, don't shut up about where Bon Bon is. All right, you guys gotta hold your little horses down. Okay, anyway, within this book, are there a lot of stinkers? Yes. Yes, there are an awful lot of stinkers in this book. I bet if we turn to a page right now, not even gonna look. No, well, we should turn to the vodka page. That's easy. What about the Freddy Fudd Pucker? The Freddy Fudd Pucker, right there. 2 ounces tequila, 4 ounces orange juice, 1 slice of lime. That's the Freddy Fudd Pucker. Certainly falls within the highball category. Does it sound like a spectacular drink? I don't think so. I don't think so. But are there great cocktails in here as well? Yes. Yes, there are. It turns out, since I made, I want to say I made 90% of the cocktails in here on one of my very slow nights in Hollywood. So we're going to be making one that I think is one of the good ones. It does fall within the Tiki category, mostly because, and this is fun, it's a sling. Now, Cush, you'll say to me, staring at your screen, yelling, hopefully at your screen, standing, pacing, angry. Cush, you've told us about these 7 cocktails. You've told us about the old fashioned, the Martinez. You've taught us about this, the sour, talked about the daisy, the flip, the fizz, and the punch. Cush, I don't see an extra finger for the sling. It's because there isn't. There isn't a finger for the sling, because what is a sling? A sling is a single serve punch. So we will be making a single serve punch called the Oahu Gin Sling. Or if you want to, if you don't want to, sling is throwing you off, the Oahu single serve punch. Cool? From our good friend, Thomas Mario. So anytime you see sling, anytime a cocktail nowadays, in the early days, it was made with, a sling would have been made with water, it would have been made with nutmeg, and it would have been made with spirit. Which, what does that sound like? That's an old-fashioned. That's an old-fashioned way. That's a minor sling that we sort of take down to its bare bone parts, and we would make it an old-fashioned or an original cocktail. Since then, we know the sling instead as a punch. So if you ever come across the word sling in a cocktail book, know that you are dealing with a punch. And we will walk you through that. This one does fall pretty close in line with how the sling works or how the punch works. Not exactly, because of course, my rubric is just the rubric, just the way to start in on it. And then you can start to dissect it from there. Let's get into it. The Oahu Gin Punch. Sorry, the Oahu Gin Sling. Cool? We're going to start with some fun ingredients. Let's start with some less fun ingredients. This is one of our least fun ingredients. This is pseudo lime juice. Pseudo lime juice. We are going to... let me just say this real quick. Hopefully some of you will be at San Diego Tiki Oasis, the 25th anniversary of San Diego Tiki Oasis, where I will be doing the 25th anniversary. I will be doing the 25 home bartender secrets revealed. 25 of them. I only have 50 minutes to speak. That's 2 minutes apiece. Anyway, we're going to be getting into one of the most important secrets, which is pseudo juice, pseudo lime, pseudo orange, pseudo grapefruit, all of that. So we're going to be getting into that at this conference. So hopefully get your seminar tickets as quickly as you can. We're going to start building this. So Thomas Mario, who is, clearly just a bon vivant, just a dude that loved bars, that loved going out to him, knew about other punches. So he built this cocktail very similar to other punches. So we're going to start off, if we remember, I think it was just last summer. Oh my God, time is going. Time never stops. We're going to go back to last summer. We're going to remember our little chants when we were doing the punch drinks. 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, 4 of weak, and a little spice to make it all nice. We're going to start off with 1 full ounce of some lime juice. This is all of the sour going into our sling. Tammy, you guys remember Tammy? She's on the show recently. She left some Red Bull. So if I seem a little jumpy today, I'm trying to get rid of the Red Bull. So anyway, we have 1 full ounce of that. So 1 of sour. We need 2 of sweet. 2 of them. Now, does that mean we're going to be putting in 2 full ounces of sweet? It does not mean that in this particular case, but we are going to be putting in 3 different sweets. A little different. We're going to be putting in 1 ounce of this sweet. And this is also going to be a little of our spice. This is Bénédictine. I feel like we haven't talked about Bénédictine in a while, so I am going to tell you guys a real quick story about Bénédictine. Basically, these Bénédictine monks during the French Revolution, they were making booze. A lot of, listen, if I had lived another life, if I had done other things, would I have loved to have been a chemist? I would have loved to have been a chemist. Would I have liked to have been an astronaut? No. I'm very claustrophobic. I would have liked to be a chemist, though. I really do feel like after bartending for so long, learning about all the polyphenols and the terpenols and the flammolines and the gobelines, all those illenes. I really like them. I really like the way that they come together to make flavors. Would I like that? Yes. I also really would like to eventually become a French monk, because it seems like about half of them just make booze all day. This is one of them. These are them. During the French Revolution, what happened? The rich kept getting richer, and the poor kept getting poorer, until the poor got so poor they said, no, we're done. Thanks. Cool. You see that hoe that I'm hoeing the field with? I'm going to put it into your skull. And that's basically what happened. The people revolted. They revolted against the royalty first. But who they were really mad at, the people they were really mad at, was the church. And so, of course, what do you have to do with a church if you're mad at it? Apparently, you got to burn it down. That's what these French peasants were thinking. They got to burn it down. They'd had enough. They burned it down. Well, unfortunately, in that, they got rid of a whole type of booze. Bénédictine. Just gone. Just gone. A lot of people died, too. Let's forget about that part. We lost a recipe, and that's what we should be worried about. We lost a recipe. Anyway, this thing was thought to be just completely gone for years and years and years, until some rich dude went out and bought a painting. And like you do sometimes with paintings, you look at it, you're like, oh, I'm so bored. Oh, I'm so bored. Maybe I put a new frame on it. So that's what he did. He put a whole new frame on it. And on the back was a recipe. And the recipe was for Dominus Bénédictine. That, my friends, is how we got Bénédictine back. That's the story they tell, at least. At least that's the story. A lot of these stories, complete garbage. Absolutely false. No real backing to them. Listen to Davey Wonder's podcast. It's amazing. It's called Life Behind Bars, one of the most incredibly named podcasts of all time. Also a really good podcast. He will tell you that almost no cocktails have real history, because we were drinking. Well, this is my thought. We were drinking. We were all drinking at the time. Anyway, this is Bénédictine. It is a French liqueur. To describe Bénédictine, smells just like Bénédictine. That's the best I can do. We're going to go ahead and put in half an ounce of some Bénédictine. Now, you will recognize Bénédictine from a couple other great cocktails. Most famously, though, it's in the Monte Carlo. That's a great cocktail. But it's also most famously, I think, in the Singapore Sling. Why is that? It does have a little nutmeg in it. It does have some of those spices. So if you're making a sling, a great way to spice up your sling, Bénédictine. That should be their phrase. Other than that, it should be, we were rich monks, and we clandestinely got you this recipe. That should be their second thing. Okay, got that. Next, we have to put in a little bit of crème de cassis. Crème de cassis. I have had this bottle of crème de cassis from Michael Antolin since Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks opened, at least. I think when we started, it was here. Now we're here. We don't use a lot of crème de cassis. In fact, I would recommend you don't use a lot of crème de cassis. Half an ounce, at most, crème de cassis, you need half an ounce. So we're going to put in 3 ounces of crème de cassis. Just kidding. Half an ounce of crème de cassis, please. That's going to give it a little bit of flavor, a little bit of bitterness, a little spice, some might say. So we're throwing our spice all around here like it's no big deal. Everybody out. I don't want anything else tasting like crème de cassis. Crème de cassis is a tough ingredient. I was chatting with somebody. You know how I feel very talkative. I feel like the Red Bulls really got me going. You know how you are talking to somebody and you can just kind of tell that they're just like listening to you and repeating what you say back to them. I had a very nice conversation with a gentleman about we were like on an hour-long car ride, and I said, one of my favorite ingredients is, of course I brought it back to me. I was talking about what I like. I said one of my favorite ingredients is maraschino liqueur. And he said, oh, I love that stuff. I could drink it by itself. I don't, maybe. Doubt it. I doubt it. But I wasn't going to stop him. He was listening to me. You know, stop somebody from listening to me? Never. Anyway, so those are going to be our 2 of sweets. Those are sweet and spicy. We are still building a great version of, oh, you know what I've forgotten? And Kyle isn't even going to make it. We're going to have to leave the bar for a second because I need soda water. We're going to go ahead and grab just a little bit. Just a little bit. We're looking for, it calls for 1 tablespoon of, they're saying rock sugar syrup. We're just going to do simple syrup. It's so much easier. Go ahead and put in like a little less than 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. All this is doing, more than anything, is bringing out some of those big flavors. So, maraschino. How did I say it? Maraschino. I feel like I said it right, and now I'm being told that I'm saying it wrong. For a long time, I called it maraschino, and then people got very angry with me. So I have taught myself maraschino. I feel like I got it right. Dougie says he was stapled to the punk rocker. Okay, well, I missed something in there. In other news, chicken tastes like chicken. That's exactly right. How do you describe the taste of alligator? Tastes like chicken. How do you describe the taste of snake? Tastes like chicken. How do you describe the taste of a very bland piece of pork? Tastes like chicken. How do you describe the taste of chicken? Whatever spices you put on it. That's it. You know, chicken tastes like chicken. Chicken is our base. Bénédictine. It tastes like Bénédictine. That's all there is to it. There's no way to describe what Bénédictine tastes like other than to say it tastes just like Bénédictine. It has a unique flavor. Hello, Okanagave. Good to see you. Okay. Oh, we need gin in here. Obviously, we're going to grab whatever gin is free. Yeah. Tomato, tomato, says Amy Nordstrom. Tomato, tomato. I do think, yeah, I think that the proper way to say it is maraschino liqueur. Because I do think that that's how, you know, when you read Italian, when you see a CC together, it's a ski, I think. Anyway, I'm not going to fight you guys on it. Okay, we have 1 of sour. We have 2 of sweet. We need 3 of strong, of course. So we're going to grab some gin here. Let's get tomato, tomato off there. This is, oh, look at that, its butt. This is Brando Motu Gin. I have found that this stuff really works well in tiki drinks. It has that gin flavor, but it also has got that gin flavor too. 2 ounces. Should be 3 ounces if we're making a real punch, but not all palates are ready for 3 ounces of gin. Not all nights are prepared for 3 ounces of gin. So we're going to go ahead and throw in 1-2 ounce of gin. I said it correctly. Whew. I think Amy was hearing it for the first time. Yeah, I know that Amy and Alan Nordstrom, new to the channel, but also very, very important to the channel. I don't think they were here for the maraschino wars of 2024. It was rough. We lost a lot of good people. I was embarrassed constantly. I could not get my act together. And so I feel like I have been beaten into submission with maraschino versus maraschino. So I now order, and I do this for real, maraschino cherries. Hurts my soul every time, but I know that somewhere, every time you say maraschino, an Italian person gets their wings. And that's what we need more. Flying Italians. Go ahead and throw in a bunch of ice there. Lots and lots of ice. We are going to be shaking this bad boy. Right there. Throw this on top. Oh, yes. Team Maraschino for the win. Yeah. Listen, Amy, just because there are winners in war does not always mean that they are wrong. In this case, it might mean that. But Listen, it was a tough situation. It's Luxardo. That's the way to go. Luxardo, maraschino cherries. Where the hell is Paul to yell at me? Paul, I believe, was the one that was really leading that charge against me. I love Paul. Paul's a good friend of mine, but man, it was really tough to be around him. Yes, we're not even get back into those the pea bitters. What if Frank joins in a second? Frank really led the charge on the pea bitters. I can't even say those anymore. Get a big old shake. Okay, now we're gonna let this sit for a second, completely by itself. I'm gonna here. I'm gonna put this camera on it real quick so you guys can watch this, and I'll be right back. How long was I gone? Anybody time that? No? Couldn't have been long. I ran. This is a fun little factoid. We're gonna talk about factoids. This right here is a great time to let your cocktail sit. If you have forgotten something, better to put the ice in and just let it sit like that. After that, shake it, then let it sit. It will hold its water for at least a little bit if it is sitting unmoving. Was I gone for 5 seconds? We're gonna have to do the Cush Tender Olympics at some point. I'm gonna see if I can beat that record. We're gonna get to 4.5. We're gonna pump and dump this one. Leaving just enough room to add some soda water. Now, yes, where is Frank? Pay shows is right. Pay shows. There's like 5 extra. I mean, we don't have to get into it right now, but pay CH. I guess that's the sh. AUD. D. Peychaud's bitters. Is what it should be. It isn't. Maraschino liqueur is what it should be. It isn't. Okay, we're going to snap this guy open. We don't do a lot of unflavored soda water in here. I am kind of a child when it comes to that. I do not like my water unflavored. I like my water to have flavor. And so when we buy soda water in here at the bar, we almost always do flavored soda water. I also like chicken fingers. I like mustard. I don't like ketchup. I don't like relish. Yeah, I like onions. I'm watching, we're watching Love on the Spectrum right now, and every time I see one of these people talk on Love on the Spectrum, I think a little bit that I am probably deeply on the spectrum. I feel like I gotta say, I'm somewhere on the spectrum. And so then I start to think about all the little things I do. I don't like regular soda water. I like this soda water. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and put in our, this is a bar spoon. You can tell because it has all of those lovely ripples and ridges. And we're gonna pour this down the side of our spoon, hopefully letting that mix a little bit to the bottom. More than anything, we're looking for about 3 ounces. We want to give this a stir. Now, remember, when you stir a cocktail, you're adding motion to it. Motion creates friction. Friction creates heat. Heat creates melting. So better if you can get that done as quickly as possible without mixing up all that ice again, making more ice melt, creating a more watery down drink. That's not what we want. Worked with a guy for a long time named Alaya. He was my co-teacher when I was teaching at the association. and he would always mention the blossom point. There is a point where the cocktail blossoms. If you stir too much, you'll hit that blossom point far too quick, and then you are in trouble. You can't unblossom a cocktail. Once a cocktail is blossomed, that is the end of it. This is it right here, guys. From the Playboy Bartender's Guide, not just famous because it's Playboy, but also because it is my first ever cocktail book. The first one I ever bought, ever. This is it. It has a lot of different ingredients that also show up in other modern classic slings. Things like the Singapore sling, the gin sling. It has a lot of stuff going on in here. I don't exactly know what makes this the Oahu version of it, but I do think that's the same thing with like Angostura bitters. Same thing with, what's another situation that gets, can I just stop at one? Angostura bitters. Not a lot of people consider absinthe. Angostura bitters and absinthe. Two things that don't get the credit for being a tiki ingredient as much as they should. Find their way into this cocktail. What I was saying was the Bénédictine. Bénédictine has a weird like tiki-ness to it. I'm not saying that the moment you put Bénédictine into a cocktail, it becomes tiki. I'm not saying that. I don't have the authority to say that. All right, I'm just a doctor. I do think that there is something about that will make this tiki. Because other than that, lime juice isn't really doing it for us. Gin, not normally. We're trying. I'm trying deeply to get to Brando Gin of Tiki. But then, crème de cassis is not normally in tiki drinks, nor is Bénédictine. But you put them together, and apparently this is good enough for Jeff Beach Bumberry to write about it. Let's see how we did. Oh my God. Medium-sized icebergs are called Burgie bits. Large are called Bergeron bits. Medium, growlers, small. We learned a lot today about, I think we learned more about icebergs than we did about anything else. Basically, what we've learned today. Oh, I'll give you a review. Very nice. Right off the top of it, would I say that if you weren't using a lovely pink gin from the motus of the Polynesian atolls in Brando Gin, would this become a tiki drink to me? If you serve this to me in a tiki mug, you put a little umbrella on it, I feel like I would be okay with you calling this a tiki drink. I do think that the Motu Gin is helping out some, but if you serve this one down, thick and short, on one cube, and you flamed an orange over the top of it, would I consider this to be possibly a classic gin sling? I would also do that. But that's where we start to get these weird things. The sling is just a single serve punch. So, are all punches tiki? Possibly. Possibly it is. Don't worry about it, Amy. We got it. What are you sorry about? Derp Burgie bits. Spell check is the devil to comedy. That's not true. My wife's favorite form of comedy is spell check. Sometimes I walk into the room and she is giggling, crying to herself because there was a text message that she had to send, and instead of saying Kenji, she said Jenkins, and she thinks that's the funniest thing of all time. So I would say instead, go with it. That's what we got. Okay. How long did I do? Oh my God, 33 minutes. Almost too long. Guys, spectacular cocktail. If you're looking for a very easy cocktail to get, this might not be it. I don't think that most people when I run out of this never-ending bottle of crème de cassis, I think it'll probably take me a month or two to buy another bottle of crème de cassis. I just don't carry that much crème de cassis. Same thing with Bénédictine. I believe I've had this bottle of Bénédictine. Let's see how much is in there. Yeah, it's still plenty. I believe I've had this bottle of Bénédictine since the bar opened. I think I started when it was here. We don't use a lot of Bénédictine, although it is a great ingredient. High Brix, which means that it is sweet. So if you're looking to like make your own cocktails, find ways to like change other cocktails, this is a great way to substitute simple syrup in for a liqueur. So taking a sour, turning it into a daisy, that stuff works really well. Same thing with crème de cassis. It's a little bit more bitter than other berry liqueurs, so it does have like a little bit more depth, but also there's a lot of ways they can go wrong, so careful with those ones. Other than that, it's just lime, sugar, soda, and booze. And we start off with a lesser punch. We go into a sling by adding the bitters and the bitters, the spice into it, and then elongate it with a little soda water. Pretty good. Thomas Mario, a pretty good bartender. Pretty good bartender. I mean, I've never seen him bartend, but he wrote a pretty good book. Without him, I don't know where we'd be. High Brix, like Brixton. Brix is a measure of sugar or a measure of sweetness that ends up in booze. So like simple syrup, 2-to-1 simple syrup has a higher Brix than a 1-to-1 simple syrup. It's a way to start off. I think it started off with distilling, or at least what's the thing where you make beer? Beer making. Fermenting. Started with fermenting. The Brix, higher Brix will give you more alcohol, etc. But Brix is also a measurement of sweetness in things. So that I don't know if it comes from Brixton. The Cocktail Lulu thinks it looks delicious. Thank you so much, Cocktail Lulu. All right, guys, we did it. We made it. Kyle was not here today. Jen was also surprisingly not here today. Normally, at least one of them's here. I was all by myself all day. Luckily, I was able to get dressed. I did brush my teeth in the morning. I was able to feed myself at one point today. I'll probably feed myself at another point today as well. So I don't, I'm an independent guy. Not really making a great case for me not being on Love on the Spectrum. Anyway, we've done it, guys. That's what we got. We'll be back here on Thursday. This is what we got to do. This is what we got to do. I have signed up to speak at the next Tiki Oasis, the San Diego one, the 25th anniversary. It is I have to do 25, promise them 25 things. The secrets to home bartending. I have 18 written out right now. I need 7 more. So if over the course of these last 5 years, any one of you has learned something from me, where you're like, hey, dang, you know what? I didn't know that. Please send it to me. Let me know what you have learned. Let me know what you've learned, because I'm going to put that into a thing. Unfortunately, you will not be able to learn it a second time. I will only teach you the first thing. But hopefully there will be things. We're going to get into things like carbonation. We're going to get into things like pseudo juice. We're going to be getting into things like different forms of syrups. We're going to be getting into things like cleaning. It's a whole thing with cleaning. I got a whole theory on cleaning. Storage, we're going to get into all that stuff. Exactly how a career bartender takes his career of bartending and brings it to a single bar by himself, and is able to keep ingredients around and make a plethora of drinks 3 nights a week. So if there's anything that you guys have learned over the past, please let me know. A liquid sweetness, here we go. Liquid sweetness is measured on a scale called Brix. At 20 degrees Celsius, 1 degree Brix is equal to 1 gram of sugar in 1 gram of water and sugar solution. There we go. Sorry, in 100 grams of 1 gram of water in 100 grams of water solution. There you go. That's amazing that Roger G just knew that. I mean, it's first of all, the grammar is great. He put it in there. The whole thing, it doesn't look copy and pasted at all. It looks like that's just something that Roger G knows. Possibly a tattoo that he has. I don't know what Roger G's tattoo situation is. Anyway, that is bricks. Oh, Bonbon wants to learn more about carbonic acid. We will learn about carbonic acid. I guarantee it. We will also be doing some dinitrous oxide. We're going to be getting into dinitrous oxide. I am and will be absolutely bringing my centrifuge out to San Diego. So if you're interested in all of that stuff, I just learned about pouring the water down the mixing spoon because of the night stream. Well, there we go. I mean, listen, look at all the things I can teach you. I'm going to put that on there. So thanks, Opie the dog. That's what I learned. That's what I got. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to go be lonely again. Kyle, and usually if like Jen's gone, all right, that's one thing. Kyle's gone? I'm lonely. Where's Kyle to talk to? All right, guys, that's what I got. Oh, the ice cup trick. Yes. We'll do the ice trick. Yes. I only have 2 minutes for each thing. They give me 50 minutes. And if you guys don't notice, I make one drink a night and I talk for 45 minutes. So I really got to figure this out. Yes, the ice cup. All right, we'll get the ice shell going there too. All right, snackeries. That's not me. That's the I learned about snackeries from the Greens. If you already had chicken fingers, maybe a Tostino's pizza rolls. Yes, dipped in mustard because I don't like ketchup. Till next time, guys, thank you so much. We'll be back here on Thursday nights to hang out lighting bitters on fire. I don't want to give away all my secrets. Be the yes and home bartender. Ooh, little improv going. All right, that's what I got for you guys. Thank you so much for joining Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I am Dr. Cush. Yeah. And we'll be back here on Thursday. I have some really fun guests now that I know that the thing works. We have some really fun guests coming. I'm gonna go drink this by myself. Even that doesn't work. Bye bye.